Good morning, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And this morning, boys and girls, we are going to be building the CT Waterman's Silver Outcast. When it's done, it looks like this. And the stuff you need to build it is I'm using a Gamakatsu B10S stinger hook in a number 2. You can also use the Fulling Mills 6040 stinger. That's a good hook too. Excuse me. The body is silver flat tinsel. There's no weight in this. The wing is silver flash under hot yellow bucktail, and then silver flash, it's Polarflash, and then Kingfisher blue bucktail, and then the cap is peacock herl. So I'm using Danville Flymaster 140D to put the body together, and then the head is 210D. Excuse me. So first things first, you got to build the body. Nothing to it. Get tied in. I start up right behind the eye on this one. And I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch or a little better for where I'm going to put the wing in. So this is silver flat tinsel, and you want to tie it in so that the gold faces you, so that when you wrap it, the silver is on the outside. Well, that sucks. I think I broke my bobbin earlier. I have to do some repairs to it. Whenever I use wrappable stuff, I put it on a utility bobbin, and that's what this is. This is a utility bobbin. Use lead wire, like uni wire or something that you're gonna wrap with. Put it on a utility bobbin, it makes it a little easier to work with. Yep. I'm gonna have to do some repairs on this. There we go. This is a good time to show you how a threader works. So there's a bobbin threader, and you just poke it down through the top Take the end of your thread, put it through the wires, and then you pull it through. Okay, so once you get this silver tinsel on, to reinforce it, I paint it with UV resin. You can use Solarez Bone Dry. You can use UV resin that you get at Hobby Lobby, whatever. I mean, I get this from China. Get it on eBay. Cost me like $20 for 200 grams. And you put that off to the side. Now, of course, if you just tie one of these and you just, you know, keep going with it, but and it's not often that you just tie one of something. So this is the next step. This is silver Polarflash number 2001. And I usually gather about, I don't know, 6 or 8 strands. Now you're not going to fold this over. You're just going to measure it against the fly. It's about 4 times the shank length or so. Okay? Maybe 3 times. Sit that off to the side. You're going to use a pinch wrap here and get that in there where you want it. Lash it down. Okay. Next is your hot yellow part of the wing. Hot yellow bucktail. I get mine from, well, I get it from all over the place. This I got from Hairline. Yep, that's about good. You want to pull out your shorties. You're going to even your tips up. So when I even my tips up, I try to make the clump flat. And then see how uneven the tips are. I just pull my fingers back. And then you see how they're evened up. And that's going to go on like that. See that? And you're going to pull out your shorties again. Come up a little further on the clump. You want to try to thin that down a little bit, because I mean, it's just kind of a sparse bug. There we go. And you'll get a feel for that the more experience you have tying. That's what it'll look like when it's laying on there. Square those tips off. I just put a couple of loose wraps and let it kind of flatten out against the shank, and then start to tighten. And then after that, just to check, you want to just kind of give that a tug. So that way, if you have anything that's going to fall out on you, you know, you may have to put the wing on again because you didn't get it on right. But that's how you check. And you're going to put your next layer of flash in. How about that? My dryer's done. Same way you put the other one on, you get a little pinch wrap and then get it set in place. Next is your Kingfisher blue bucktail. I'm going to try to get you a clump from about halfway down the tail, because that's the kind of length you're looking for. And you can measure that against the hook shank. See that? Okay. And you're going to go through the same process you did with the hot yellow. Kind of move your way up the hunk you got here, the clump you got here, and get some of those shorties out. Flatten it out. And then start to even your tips up. Measure it against the shank. You want it to be about the same length as the hot yellow, maybe a little longer. Again, get your shorties out. Try to thin that down a little bit. If you're wondering what scissors I'm using, I use these scissors for my hair. They're just spring-loaded scissors I get at the surplus store. I don't want to use my $20 fly tie-in scissors on hair, because hair is very coarse and it will dull a pair of scissors quickly. Now, it's very easy to crowd the eye with this, so you just want to be very careful. And if you feel like you're getting too close to the eye, you can grab a hold of it and grab a hold of the shank and kind of push the head back a little bit just by wiggling a little bit. It'll move back. Okay, I'm getting my peacock herl from a peacock plume. But you can also, obviously, you can buy a strung peacock herl. I had a friend up in Pennsylvania that had a peacock go down on his farm, and he called me up and he asked me if I wanted it, and of course I said absolutely. So you should have seen my wife's face when I brought this peacock home and started pulling feathers off of it. It was priceless. You just want to even those up too. You kind of even those up the same way you do the hair. You just kind of grab the long ones. You can grab the short ones and pull them up to be even with the long ones. And you just measure that against the top. You want it to be hanging off the back just a little longer than the Kingfisher blue wing. This is your cap. I use 8 fronds, peacock herls, off of the plume. I mean, you know, of course, you can use more, you can use less. You're the guy behind the vise, so it's your bug. Do what you want. Okay. Now I got that on. You see how I keep stroking that? I keep stroking that so that I can make sure that everything is falling in place and it is secure. I'm going to put a 5 3 whip finish on here. I'm going to trim that off. And I'm going to paint with UV resin. Paint the head. Let that soak in. I usually count to about 20 or so. Let that soak in. Make sure I got everything the way I want it, because once you hit it with the light, that's it. Alrighty then. And that's that part. I'm going to put that off to the side to dry. Well, to finish curing. Now, it's going to have eyes on it, and the eyes are painted on. Now, you can use sticker eyes, but in this case, I thought I'd use painted eyes so I can show you how to paint the eyes. White Testor's model paint. And a toothpick. Now, I learned this trick from my wife. So I got that side that side. Make sure I don't have any runs. And I'm going to put that off to the side to dry. That one's already dry. Black Test Stores model paint. Toothpick. And you're just going to put a little dot. And there you have it. Okay. And now that one's done. So, this has been the Custom Tied Waterman's Silver Outcast. And this has been George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. You can find the virtual fly shop on Facebook by searching Custom Tire 02. That's CUSTOMTYER 02. You can also find this tutorial on my website at www.custom-tied.com. That's CUSTOM-TIED.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, if you found it useful, please come to my channel and like and subscribe. And there's plenty of other stuff on there. Excuse me. I really appreciate you taking the time to take a look at this. And excuse me. Happy tying.